Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar. This is the Ireland versus Greece preview. We didn't get to do it for the England game, but we thought we'd make it up to you tonight. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast, and of course, Republic of Ireland player tracker's very own Conor McAvoy. I'm back in Dublin, as you can see, with spared no expense. Martin's in his man cave, and Conor is back home as well, I think, in someone's loft. So you're very welcome, chaps, and you're very welcome home, of course. As always, we are the voice of the fans. Have your say, get involved. I see a few comments coming in there. We are live on the Facebook, the YouTube, 3 Twitter channels: Republic of Ireland Player Tracker, Lansdowne Road, and Lansdowne Roar. Have your say, get involved. You can say what you want. We're going to be live until about 9:30. Thereabouts. Anything you want to talk about? We're going to be talking about England tonight. The backlash, the fallout of England. Lot of stuff coming out about that. Are you happy with the manager so far? Some rumors, some fans saying that they're not too happy with the Heimer situation. Feel he's not involved enough. Have your say. Talk about it. We're also going to talk about Greece, of course, which is our second Nations League game. That is tomorrow at 7:45. Conor and I will be live from the ground for that, from 6:45 for the pre-game. And of course, 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes after full time, we will have the aftermath. Can the Republic of Ireland get their first win ever over Greece? Gentlemen, let's get into it. Martin, obviously we haven't heard from you yet about the England game. 2-0, of course, to... I'm going to lay off the jokes on you, Martin, about England. But 2-0 to England, well beaten. Kind of took it easy on us in the end, didn't they?
They did, yeah, certainly. Second half, yeah, great to be on a game with you lads, and I enjoyed the show, preview show, brilliant. Love to hear from the Irish fans. I enjoyed the trip to Dublin, of course, always do, meeting up with the Raw faithful, and it was kind of what I expected. I mean, look, 2-0 flattered us massively. Kelleher was man of the match. I don't know how Benny got it, but
6 saves by Keller. I thought it was 4, 6.
Yeah, massively kept us in the game, and you know, it was a difficult day at the office for Ireland. The levels, that's what it is. It's elite level. England, I mean, you think how kind of comfortable they were with the game. I thought Declan Rice was very, very comfortable, you know, just cruising around the pitch, doing what he had to do, which wasn't a great sight for us, of course, as Ireland fans. But, you know, I just thought they were very comfortable and got the overloads right, tactically better than us, caused problems for our defence, not knowing whether to drop in and pick up on Harry Kane, who didn't have to do much at all, did he really? Kind of missed opportunity. I think he should have made some subs at half time, to be honest. I think we should have refreshed it because I think the crowd were incredibly flat second half. We knew it was over, which that's the sad thing for me to see. But I think it's been a massive overreaction. This is England. This is European Championship runners-up. They're a massive elite level more than us. This is Heimer's first game, and I know we'll go on to chat about that. But you know,
is it now, Martin?
We weren't expecting. You know, there was a lot of wishful thinking going into it that Ireland would get a result and a bit of overconfidence.
Not for me, Martin.
It is a new start, and I know you said 2-0, Dave. Yeah, we knew.
Yes,
that.
I did.
But that's why you're fishing for. Well done.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just thought, you know, that England were very comfortable, and they could have, if they had to score 6, they would have got 6 quite easily. Yeah, disappointing for us, but I thought the crowd then were a bit flat. Lots of things kind of went on in the kind of stadium, didn't they? And I've heard and read lots of views and things. I think it's interesting to see the ex-players, pundits kind of fall out from it, their view on things. But yeah, a lot of work in Irish football needed, but same old arguments come out. We don't have the players with this and that. And, you know, and then people seem to want to knock Carsley because he kind of, in a way, rejected Ireland and, he's not going to be good enough for England anyway. Well, I'd still take him, to be honest.
What, as manager or as player?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, well, you know,
of course I bloody would.
Choice for us, but I mean, like, he is an elite coach, whatever way you're looking at it. But
I don't know.
Working with elite players and working with those players who he's familiar with from under 21s.
All right, we'll go back to that. Conor, your response to that? Do you think people are overreacting to this? I mean, you're going to throw yourself off the bloody edge at one point. I probably shouldn't ask you, actually, should I?
Well, like that was just because of who scored. That wasn't more because of the game. But like, in what context is it overreacting how bad we were, or in terms of saying Heimer doesn't have a clue or General J doesn't have a clue? In what sense?
Yeah,
Ju-
go
I
on,
just
Martin.
think I think it's just a bit of a reaction, like every argument about how shy Irish football is, and and what can you expect if you and now you're going to be going off watching. You'll be watching English players play this week and not supporting the League of Ireland. You've got that argument. Then you have, John O'Shea's absolutely crap. He was crap under the last regime. What's he got coaching wise? We should have had this. It's a matter of opinions, and that's what we're here to give as well. But
I think
I
that's
just think it's just a lot of noise, and
hold on.
Irish football's just in a massive mess. And
I don't.
I actually don't think it's
it'd
that
be a big
bad.
thing to.
I think it is. I just
No,
want to
there
go
is
back
a
to
lot
the.
of things wrong.
I just
Yeah.
want to go back to the John O'Shea argument, right? So, uh, Hamer, I think actually is how you pronounce it in Icelandic. Not even going to try and pronounce a surname in Icelandic. But he has come out and said that John O'Shea picked the team, him and Paddy McCarthy, that he was relying on those two, right? And I did say it in the pre-show. Or sorry, in the window review, the squad reaction, the window review. That obviously you've got, heavy on the fullbacks, heavy on the wing backs. We're going to play a wing back system, which we did, and it was terrible and it was rubbish. And we keep playing this wing back system. John O'Shea keeps playing this wing back system. That was dreadful against Portugal. It was dreadful against Hungary at home, which we somehow got a win, which we didn't deserve, and it was terrible against England. And yet you have a manager who's on $500,000 a year saying that he's going to be relying on John O'Shea for not just this match day window, but for the next match day window as well. So I think people are annoyed about that. Listen, if we go out and get spanking against England, right? Fourth best team in the world, according to the rankings, probably a bit higher, probably maybe second best team. Who knows? Fantastic side. No one minds that, but it was just the demeanor. It was the manner of it. It was the fact that the players showed no fight. After about 10 minutes, the game was done. Game was done after 25 minutes. They took the foot off the pedal. And that, I think, Martin, that's the problem that people have. And I think people have a right to that. We were set up horribly. Players playing that shouldn't have been playing. And to be honest with you, with John O'Shea, my opinion is, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I don't think he's up to it. He's not up to it. Lee Carsley is where he's at because he's been coaching. He's now, he's 50, Lee Carsley, isn't he? So he's been coaching 16 years. How long has John O'Shea been coaching?
Yeah, I'll come across as a big defender of John O'Shea, obviously.
And I will shoot that down.
But no, yeah, but I think you've got to, I think my worry is he was being tarred with the kind of Kenny regime and even the last two interim games. I mean, he stepped up and he
stepped up.
Okay. No, he did okay, and he will lack inexperience.
But can I jump in here?
He will lack experience, but just one thing I think it is. Let's be realistic as well. Why John O'Shea's there as well? It is cost. They can't afford an elite coach, to be honest, to come in there, and the structure's all in place now. That's what I'm saying. There's so many problems in Irish football. You've got the Mark Canham, the pathway, and all that things. That's all kind of set in place now. John O'Shea is kind of part of that and these ideas, but I just think you have to be patient with that, and we're very overreacted. That would be my point. I think England are always going to come and win.
It's not about the win.
For nothing.
It's not about the win, Martin.
He's had no time though.
It's not about the win. It's about the manner. Sorry, Conor, go ahead.
Yeah, because this thing of John O'Shea, Stephen Kenny didn't even play this system that John O'Shea is playing. Stephen Kenny, if you remember what Stephen Kenny done was, the way we finished the game when we had a front two and then a midfield flat of like four and then the five at the back or whatever, it was a midfield flat. John O'Shea has suddenly switched to a 3-4-3, which makes absolutely no sense. Sammy Smollick's playing as a winger, which I've said a million times, is one of the worst ideas. You might as well not have him on the pitch at all. Like, this isn't Stephen Kenny. You can't come back, this is Stephen Kenny. Like, just move on from Stephen Kenny. This is a John O'Shea idea. And sure, we did it. Most people think we did have top assistant in Anthony Barry. Like, I could imagine the wages weren't that much difference between Anthony Barry's and what John O'Shea's on now, because John O'Shea probably would have wanted a decent amount to stay on. Like, I think it's just a bit crazy I like John O'Shea. I think he probably has the capabilities of being a good coach, because I could imagine his man management is good. But the way he simply hasn't learned from June, hasn't learned from March, and he's persistent with the same people, playing Seamus Coleman as a right centre-back up against Anthony Gordon. Even if you look, you've seen this thing from the other day, I remember looking back, and Ogbene was the second fastest player in the Premier League. Who was the fourth fastest? Anthony Gordon. Who was the fifth fastest? Dara O'Shea. And I know you don't want to play Coleman left centre-back, but don't play him at all then. Play Dara O'Shea right centre-half. We have Andrew Omobamidele, who I think is a top centre-half. People going on about Jake O'Brien. I thought he was very poor when he came on. look clumsy. I think Omobamidele should be playing in that position, and I just don't understand what's going on at the moment. Just between Heimer, I know he deserves a bit of slack, but it's time he puts his foot down. And like, I just don't know what's going on.
I have an issue. The issue I have is not, as I said, it's not the result. It's not the result. But I think it's just the manner of it. Obviously, Heimer's come in and he said, you know what, first game, I'm going to let John pick it. I'm going to let him pick the squad. Okay, not delighted about that. Not something I would do personally. You know, I think back to Rafa Benitez. He came in as Newcastle manager. Boom. I think he was hired the day before. No, they're in serious trouble. They're going to get relegated. I know what needs to be done. I'm going to get to work. Heimer's sitting back. And it's England, okay? It's England. It's a massive game. You have a bit of a free swing. I saw nothing. I saw, bar maybe the first 10 minutes, we were a bit more up for a bit more aggressive. Was that down to the coaching? Was that down to the atmosphere? Because I tell you what, the atmosphere in Lansdowne was brilliant. We were all there. Fantastic. And it was best atmosphere I've experienced in that stadium for some time. And, you know, then after... He comes out to the press and goes, yeah, I think, I don't know, he said 7 minutes when he was asked by Nathan Murphy what went wrong. 7 minutes. I don't know, did he say he needed 7 minutes to explain? Or
No,
was
he meant the 2 goals came in 7 minutes. Is what I picked it up as.
But they weren't 7 minutes. One was 28 minutes and the other one was 11 minutes. I don't know what he meant. But we'll get to a bit of confusion there with himself, with Hamer. And then he's talking about, well, actually, I need a bit more time to stamp my authority on the team. Now, that has been clarified by the FAI. They said that he actually meant to say, and it's fair to say this, he meant to say more knowledge of the team. That to me is a major red flag, chaps. Like, first game, fine. But the second game, and then he's talking about, I might need another window after this one. Martin, I mean, that's not good. And
we'll be at the Nations League. And that's the problem. It's worrying me. Like, you know, this is what I'm saying about the overreaction in a sense, right? I don't think it's his fault, and I don't think it's John O'Shea's fault. I think John O'Shea's been put in a really awkward position having to be alongside the manager, because obviously I'd like to hear from Conor, and who hasn't said anything apart from that he's congratulating himself on his job.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Right. But, you know, I think it's in such a mess. I think it does need clarification, and it needs leadership in the association. We know we don't have that, but what you've got is you've kind of got a little bit of a scapegoat in John O'Shea. That he's up there with the manager picking the squad at that press conference, which was a few minutes and not the best we've spoken about before. That's fine, but then let's hear from them again about why we're doing this, and get the fans on board to understand. We're going to transition this squad. We're still going to have likes of Seamus Coleman, Robbie Brady, of course, in there for experience, and they will be playing a little bit, but at the same time, then I agree with you, Conor. I think Omobamidele should be brought into that squad. I think he's an excellent player, but you've got to get that balance right. I think though, a little bit lost in translation. Of course, it worries me. My biggest worry today is I want to see Heimer at a press conference today. Like, why has John O'Shea got to do it again now? That
was today's press conference.
Yeah, that worries me. I'm thinking, hang on, something's not right here. I mean, I've had a lot of people contact me going, you know, do you reckon there's a chance that Heimer could be, you know, does he not fancy this anymore? Has he come in and think this is an
already?
Well, yeah, I've had people say that to me, because why is he not front and center? Because Dave, like you just said there, a good manager comes in and they take charge of the dressing room, and you have an assistant. This strikes me a little bit like, you know, the late great Bobby Robson coming in as kind of a holding hands with Stan. You know, and I will have all that stuff. And I hope it's not going to be like that. I mean, like I said, I want John O'Shea to do well. I think he needs to learn on the job. They need some real guidance there. And it just is worrying me now that, you know, I want to see Heimer stepping up and being more front and center on this, and actually making decisions and standing by them and saying, look, you've got to bear with us. I've come in late. It's not going to be a criticism of the FAI if he comes in and says, look, everybody, I've had 4 or 5 weeks with this team. Not even that, like, since he got appointed. I've had a week with them, and we're going to work on this. We've got some plans. We think we can set ourselves up to get good results. That's what he's got to say, and I think I'd be on board with that. At the moment, I'm only hearing from John O'Shea.
That's a point, though, Conor, isn't it? I mean, look, if we went in, we got a hiding from a fabulous England side. It was funny. I'll give you a laugh if you're watching Dave. I'm staying where I turned around. He hates England. And I turned around and we were just chatting about the match because, you know, it arrived here this afternoon. I said, you know, England England, was just so far superior. He's like, only in the football. All right, Dave, calm down. He just hates England so even more so than you, Connor. But no, I think that's a point, though, isn't it? Like, if we played England, we get battered by England, or not battered, like well beaten. And I did say that we're going to get beaten 2-0. I would take 2-0, like, a hard earned loss because it's Heimer's first game. But you see, what I wanted to see was the team done set up differently because it hasn't been set up well the last while, even under Kenny, under John O'Shea, now the different systems, they haven't been well. But I wanted to see something that would make me go, aha, this is what we've needed. A diligent coach, an experienced, seasoned coach that can get a tune out of this team, because we know it's not the best Ireland team I've seen by a long shot, but there's enough there. There just has to be application, has to be aggression, that sort of thing. And to be honest, Connor, I didn't really see that bar the first couple of minutes. I think that was more down to the occasion, the atmosphere. The big test is obviously tomorrow night. But you wouldn't look at that and go, I really see what this manager's trying to do. No, he's, we're probably not going to see that until like we're out of the Nations League and we're playing Finland at home in November.
Yep. It's just mental. I don't get, because people go on about we don't have the players, this, that. We have enough players that we can at least fight against any team. I know the thing of, we can compete with them. We're not going to compete with them, but there's a thing called putting a fight up and at least defending well and making them scrap for everything. Like, if you went through our players at the weekend, you'd find 4 or 5. You're like, yeah, he gives everything for the shirt. I know some of them just give up after nothing. They all did try until England got the first goal, and then it seemed like a thing of the same old suspects. We're not going to come back now. What's the point? But no, it's just meant like if we lose Tuesday, I was looking at the pots earlier for the Nations League, and we're confirmed pretty much for pot 3. There's a lot of teams in pot 2 that you could fancy yourselves against if you came against anything. And it's not like we've a terrible squad. You're like, oh no, we're going to lose. I know people think that, but our squad's not that bad. You look at the 21s. No. Sinclair Armstrong was saying on the press conference today that it's such a special group of players. He just sometimes looks at the dressing room and just laughs how good everyone is. And they fancy them against anyone in Europe. Like, it's mental the amount of young talent we have. Like, and all it takes is one more Evan Ferguson to come through in an important position. And like, I've seen people saying about Ireland are absolutely useless. Well, on people who aren't involved in Irish football or constantly watch Irish footballers would think that because we just look terrible, and we don't, like, the players that are being picked up per coaching is per at the moment, which I hope can improve. Like, I know people give out about formations. No matter what formation we played at the weekend, we were going to get humiliated like that because there's just something is not right in that team. Whether it's the players not trying, a lack of confidence, not being set up.
I think it's confidence. I think it's a few things. They look terrified, but the setup is poor. The Portugal game, we talked about it, Conor, ourselves. The Portugal game I thought was very poor. Like, did you see the Carsey done his homework? Carsey, is an elite coach, as you said, Martin. He's not a manager, he's a coach. And he was watching everything they were doing. Yeah. And all
step in. One important. What was the main thing Mark Canham said the whole time at the start of the process? We don't want a manager. We want a head coach that can develop these players. What coaching is going on?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, if you looked right, all England had to do, the amount of times I rewatched, I got through the first half of it, rewatching the England game. All he did was just ping balls between the gap between Doherty and Coleman, and Anthony Gordon was making runs down that left wing. They were just finding the gap because Coleman and Doherty's legs are gone, and they couldn't move. He just kept catching him out all the time. Gordon just absolutely destroyed him. Kept going on that right wing, and then of course the goal came from a simple punt over the top. There was confusion between. I'm not having a go at Coleman. He's been a great servant, but he's 35, and the ball over the top was just right over Collins. There was confusion between himself and Coleman. The way they were set up, I thought, was very poor. There seemed to be no communication, seemed to be no leadership. The first goal, ball over the top. It's a brilliant save for Caoimhin Keller. He's phenomenal goalkeeper. He is our best goalkeeper. I don't care what anyone says. And then basically, no one's picking up Declan Rice and just slots it home. Lovely finish. And then the second goal, like, it's just one touch pass, and it was like watching.
I put that up there earlier though, Dave. I put that goal up for the England Twitter. I put it up. It was England like behind the goal. They're elite players doing that. Like, we see that at Champions League level with these English players. They are just better footballers than the Irish lads. Their brains work quicker as well. And now everyone's like, oh, what do you mean? Like we can all celebrate that we've got 12, 13 players in the Premier League now. They're not at any of the elite clubs in the Premier League. Like they're going to be I'd say half of them within the teams they're playing are likely to be in relegation battles. So it's going to be a big challenge for them. And then they're back in the Championship. That's just the level of players we have at the moment. They can perform, of course, and Schmonics will hopefully have a very good season, but he's going to be in a struggling team ultimately. And now he's like all of a sudden a big hope for us. I mean, we raved about Evan Ferguson. A question I've got for you, Conor, with the under-21s, right, on Evan Ferguson. I think in a way it's kind of linked to what I'm going to say first. I think they've kind of written off the England game. All right, we don't not obviously we tried to compete, but they're going to win anyway, right? And I know that sounds very defeatist. The second game, we want to see big improvement now, Greece. I think I would judge him on that because he's had a bit more time working with them. Also, he's reacting now in coaching this, like what went wrong? What did we want you to do? What didn't you do right against a very good England team? Well, this lot aren't going to be as good. So now we will need to see you understanding it. And we've got an opportunity now against Greece. But Evan Ferguson, do you think really we should kind of say, Evan, with your injury problems and where you've been at Brighton and not really getting game time and playing, should he not go down to the under-21s? I would actually swap him with Sinclair Armstrong and bring him up.
I know what you're on about,
what do you think about that?
I just think Evan Ferguson's above 21s football at this stage, unless it was maybe come the tournament next summer. And I was actually speaking to someone about yesterday about England last summer had players like Cole Palmer, Morgan Gibbs-White, Angel Gomez, Emil Smith-Rowe playing in the tournament itself. If we got to this tournament next summer and we brought, if you look at our full under-21 squad with everyone that's eligible, I'm not kidding you. We should have a good chance of winning the tournament. Compete with anyone if you look on the team on paper with all the players we have. But I think, I would have rather Sinclair Armstrong up front the other day than Adam Ida, because at least he'd battle and he'd have get stuck into the defenders and he'd create a chance for himself by just his work rate alone. But I think Ferguson is just he wasn't fit enough. He wouldn't have been fit enough to start for the 21s the other day. I don't think it would have made much sense, really. But I know where you're coming from. If he was fully fit and you're like, oh yeah, we want you to get a few goals. If it was to play in the Latvia game tomorrow, but like, it's more than likely Ferguson will play at least 30 minutes tomorrow, I think. And the thing is, if he gets a goal for the senior team tomorrow, a big goal, that could set his journey back. Like, I think the thing of people saying, oh, where's Evan Ferguson gone, is just a load of shit.
No, he's been injured. Yeah, he hasn't played a minute for Brighton.
Yeah. People who watch football and see him play know especially is.
Yeah. Just before we quickly move on to the Greece game, did you see some of the footage? Some of the sort of like the fallout from it. The England fans, when they walked out of the stadium by the Garda, and they were getting abused by the Ireland fans, shouting "Lizzie in a box." Jesus, it was a bit.
I mean, no need for that, of course, but I mean, it was. Yeah, because I kind of walked out a little bit later as well, and
when he said England fans have to stay in it, when England fans have to stay in the stadium later, you just sitting there, were you?
I got a bit confused.
Yeah, I was like, "Who's that wanker sitting over?" Oh, it's
looking at you, just daggers, staring at Roy Keane because you hate him so much.
You were on protection watch, weren't you? You were sitting there making nobody fucking goes near my Roy. Yeah,
I was down him near at one stage, but
melting.
Look, we want to see improvement tomorrow, and I think there's an opportunity to do that. And I want to see a little bit more from Heimer, talking about as if he does have the knowledge of the players, because even if he was doing a tactical analysis of the team the other day and not really involved, even to think about, we imagine that he was going to be coming in to take. Are
you fucking eating an apple? Oh, and look at this fella.
Look at this lad.
I've just seen a nice comment when I was eating. Two best things in life.
Professional.
David McGold drinking an apple.
Jesus.
Well, put your mic on mute. You fucking.
All right, go on ahead.
Amateur. I was gonna say, I don't know. I did have a joke. I think we've just got to, like, I want to see more from him now, and I'm hoping we will. And I think there's no need to be digging out John O'Shea and going, oh, he should be nowhere near it. Look at this and stuff. I think we need to see the improvement from the coaching. One other interesting thing I've noticed on this, I don't know if you picked up on it, Conor, you might know about this, even though you're taking your headphones off now. further professionalism. Now
He's
he's
just
walked
fucked
away.
off, isn't he? He's just fucked off. For anyone
These
new
young
to the
kids.
Jesus Christ. And for anyone new to the podcast, you're wondering like, why is Martin so fucking got a hard on for John O'Shea? But here you go. I
Well, there you
mean,
go.
that replaced his wedding photograph
No,
next to his
got
bedside.
another one recently from the other night. But I think there is an opportunity tomorrow. I think we will improve. But one thing I was going to notice though, in the background, Conor, you might be aware of this, as I was saying. Glenn Whelan was over watching Greece, wasn't he? Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that on his Instagram
he
actually,
seems
or his
to be
Twitter.
he seems to be kind of part of the backroom kind of team doing a lot of the scouting and things on it. But look, we'll be there tomorrow, won't we? And we'll be cheering
we
them
will.
on. And I hope there'll be a big crowd behind them.
Let's move on to the Greece game anyway. We've spoken enough about England, although I'm sure we'll get back to it in the comments. Keep those comments coming in, guys, by the way. Get involved, as always. We are Irish Football's most interactive podcast, and they do watch us. They do listen to you. Well, they hear you. I don't know if they listen to you. That's up to them. So, yeah, keep them coming in. And, of course, yes, you're right, Martin. We want to see more from Heimer Helgrimsson, the Ireland manager. So that's why he got John O'Shea to do the press conference today. 10 minutes of it was on YouTube. And basically, John O'Shea was asked again a couple of times, so what's the story? Like, what's going on? Why are, basically, what's your role in this? Like, why are you giving the press conference? And John O'Shea was quite bullish, actually. He came out and said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, well, look, he's the manager. A bit of a reverse of Steve Staunton, wasn't it? He's the gaffer. What he says goes. Sir Bobby shall do as he see fits. No, actually. But yeah, and he's like, I don't know what's coming up. Well, I think it's a fair question because people are a bit puzzled, and we won't crack. We've already covered that. So we know the reasons for that. But himself and Caoimhín Kelleher were in the press conference today. I thought Kelleher was very interesting. Conor, you brought this to our attention in the group, where basically he was asked about being, what's going on? Why are you still at Liverpool? And he sort of he kind of lashed out. I think he got a lot off his chest, wouldn't you say? Because he basically said, "Look, it's not my decision. I want to be number one somewhere else." But they turned down offers for me. I mean, he's a fabulous goalkeeper. He should be Ireland's number one and he should be playing for a Premier League side, shouldn't he? Not up.
A good Premier League side at that.
Yeah,
not just some relegate. Like he is. I think if he went off and played regularly, he could be one of the top goalkeepers about. Like I think he's top class. He doesn't have any weaknesses at all in his game, so I don't know why. I know Liverpool. It's just a thing. Liverpool wouldn't accept any bids from the summer. Well, they said they want 25, 30 million, and then this particularly than what they usually are for, especially for goalkeepers. But it seemed like from people I've spoke to, it seemed like he was told last summer, please just stay one more year, and we would promise to sell you. But that was coming from Klopp, and obviously Liverpool have been more staunch with it this summer. But he's in his last year of contract next year, so when the Georgian keeper comes in, I think that's probably him and Alisson will both go. So I think Liverpool are preparing themselves for Kelleher going as well next summer. So there's a year left, but God knows what they'll get from next summer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what club are going to say to that, Martin. Arne Slot was probably or Arne Slot probably going to be sitting there going, "What?" It was a bit out of character. Do you think that this club will be happy with him?
No, but I think he's got nothing to lose, is he? He's not like he's going to be, stripped of starting time because he's not getting any there. So, that might help him force a move in January. Easily.
I think he's been respectful to Liverpool. He's been very respectful to Liverpool. He hasn't been kicking on fuss. He hasn't been coming out in the media. Some people would go out and they're like, "Oh, a Ring Talk Sport." They will do an interview saying, "Oh, I need to leave." They're not turning up to training. He's been very professional, and I don't think he hasn't said anything wrong today. He hasn't said, "Oh, I'm here at Liverpool. I can't believe it." He just said, "I wanted to go. I want to be a first team keeper," and they just didn't accept the bids. Like I hope in January.
He said it's not in his hands, didn't he? As well.
Because Forrest came in from last January, if you remember, on deadline day. And it was before the Carabao Cup final, and he had that to play in, and Liverpool weren't going to sell him on deadline day. But then it came again very late this summer again, so he hasn't been helped with the bids coming in very late in the window. But I think January or next summer he'll definitely be gone from Liverpool.
Yeah, No, I agree. He's far too good. He should be definitely playing for a tippy top Premier League side. And of course, the game tomorrow, Greece on the crest of a wave a little bit. It will be the second game of the new manager, like yourselves, or maybe it's game number 6 for manager. But yeah, 3-0 against Finland. I did have a look at the goals on UEFA.com. Finland were terrible, to be fair, weren't they? I mean, I think it's the very poor side. I mean, it's going to be us probably battling Finland out. Well, it depends on tomorrow, obviously.
All I have to say is if we're battling Finland to finish last in this group, like if it's actually a competitive battle, I'd really question man. Because I know PR is not good enough, but their squad is awful. Like it is dreadfully bad. Their best player is Glenn Kamara, who God knows how he's even still playing football anymore. So I would really worry if we're competing with them for last.
Should we have a look at? Obviously, we've kind of had a go at the. Now we've already touched on the Greece side. Of course, didn't we in the window review or preview? Sorry, I always get those two confused. They're not great. So I think pound for pound we have a better team that just obviously set up. Well, we don't know because yet again Gus Poyet isn't the manager. But how do you think we're going to set up tomorrow, lads? Like, we've got our starting 11s here, haven't we? Should we have a look? Right. Tell us what you think. By the way, lovely or faithful of our starting 11. What we want. I'm going to start with Connor's first. Here we go. I should get some music in the background for this. So obviously, Queeving Keller in goal. Well, you've gone for what was that? A 3-5-3?
Yes, it's pretty much a 3-5-2. I know it's split out. I tried to make it look neater looking. The word the players
I
actually
can't count.
I would have the three at the back of Bamadelli, Collins, and O'Shea. As I've said before, Bamadelli is just better than Jake O'Brien, and people can't go off game time this season because they both just played 90 minutes each in the cup. So and Bamadelli done it against Premier League sides. So, and then the midfield, I'd have a small one more as a sitting midfielder. I know he was very poor the other day, but he was not helped in the absolute slightest by the tactics that was on. And Malumbi is the destroyer, and then Knight. I thought he was decent when he came on there. You could see a bit of improvement. The shape we finished the game in, I know the last 10 minutes was just a bore fest, but like there was a 10-minute period that Knight actually made a difference. You can see against big teams, he always turns up, which you can't doubt with him. And then I went with the two wing backs of Fessy and Ogbene. Ogbene, there's no difference in playing Ogbene on the wing and playing him at wing back because he does the same thing. He'll give everything and he'll pick up the ball and carry the ball. With Fessy at left wing back, I think this is a preference. I'm just sick of seeing him come to the squad and sit on the bench for 90 minutes. And I'm not a fan of having O'Dowda playing there or Robbie Brady. So I'd like to see
full stop.
I think we lack a lot of ball carriers who can bring the ball up the pitch, relieve some pressure. Festy, Robbie Brady, he's a lovely left foot, but he'll just hoof the ball up the pitch. And then how many times the other day, it wasn't even a Saka was beating him with ease. You can't blame him with that. It's the thing of falling asleep and just slipping in behind. Festy can sometimes do it as well, but at least if you get the ball at Festy's feet, he'll beat a few men, win a free kick, relieve some pressure. And then the front two, I know a lot of people want to see Ferguson start tomorrow. I don't think he'll be fit. I don't know why. I don't see why we couldn't play Troy Parrott. Troy Parrott, he hasn't scored yet for AZ, but in pre-season he was scoring for fun, and he's actually playing very well. He offers so much to the team. He's like that false nine sort of role and I think he'd link up well with two smart footballers who know to get in the right position. And Troy Parrott's type of fella, if he scores one, he might score three, but if he misses one-on-one, he'll probably miss five. So, but I would throw him in tomorrow and see what he can do.
Okie dokie. Thank you for that. Kind of very technical there, isn't he, Martin? These kids and their stats. And
yeah, and also I wouldn't mind seeing McAteer at left wing back either. I think he could slip in there.
Okay. Brandy's 11. Here we go, Martin. You've gone Kelleher in goal, of course. Talk us through your team there. Doherty, Jesus, and the Dowda.
Yeah, so I've gone forward to back really because I think Doherty will come in there. Collins and O'Shea. O'Dowda coming in left back. I think, I do accept that against Greece the last time in June, a while ago now. He had a torrid night that night, didn't he? But I think I'd rather have the four kind of settled at the back and then sit Malumbi in front with Cousin Will. And I think then it's a little bit like Schmolix to be quite the creative kind of force there, releasing Ogbene and Ferguson. Hopefully not too isolated up there, but I'm going to go with him starting. I think we need to win this game or be competitive in it. But I think I'd like to see kind of starting Ferguson to see what he can offer, and then perhaps then bring in Troy Parrott, because I think this is something I think like we have to have that pace on the wing. I'm interested to see Casey McAteer come in, although obviously the graphic picks it was an England player there, which is interesting. But you know, the other day, like why I've kind of gone away from kind of the Brady thing now is just the left side is a problem area for us. We were far too slow putting the ball in the other day, and I think even I think it might have been Gary Breen speaking about that as well in his column, which was a very, very good read actually in the Independent. But you know, we've got to deliver the ball quicker, and especially I think you've got to give service to Evan Ferguson. I think if they do kind of sit in and look after the ball quite well, and you know, just keep possession, I think we have to have clever players, and that's what I'm hoping Schmodek's going to be for Ireland going forward.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that would be about it for me. I think that it's a bit flexible as well. You can interchange a lot of them.
Yeah, interchange nationalities by the looks of it. Casey McAteer there, the graphic. Okay, very good. And here's mine. Look at that. 4-4-2. Well, 4-4-1-1. Not 4-4-2. Gone back to basics a little bit in this one. Obviously, Kelleher in goal. No Doherty. Festi Abasela. I know he hasn't played a minute of football this season, and he's gone to Watford on loan, and he hasn't had a chance there. But I give the lad a go. What have we got to lose? Doherty's not up for it. He's not up to it, I should say, not up for it. He was dreadful, too slow, too passive, too pedestrian. I want a bit of vigor in my fullbacks or wing backs. So I've gone with Fessy. It's a risk, but to quote Sven Goran Eriksson, it's a nice risk.
Why have you dropped Chio? Man of the match.
Did you forget he exists?
No, I didn't. No. I'll explain. No, I'll explain that. Jesus Christ! How you got to central defenders and you're already picking it apart, lads?
I
didn't take the piss out of your team. Fucking, what's this?
I was just asking. I was inquiring about it. That's all.
Oh, that's shit. Right. And I would go with obviously Cons and O'Shea in defence. Scales can do a job for you left back. Now, look, left back is a problem area. Our only actual left back isn't in the squad, hasn't played a minute as a left back for Southampton. Ryan Manning, of course, he played as a central a defensive midfielder against Oxford, a team they lost 2-0, and hasn't played a minute for them. And I don't know what's going to happen. So we don't have a left back, so that's a bit of a patch-up job there. I'll take a risk. I would go with McAteer and Brady. You've got different options there. You've got, hopefully, you've got the clean left foot of Robbie Brady lashing crosses into the big man up front. And you got Casey McAteer that, making runs down the right, you hope, and maybe getting a bit of help from Ebiseli, perhaps overlapping a little bit with those. I'm going back to kind of my early 2000s. You got Malumbi and Knight in the centre there. I think Malumbi can do the sort of, he's a good destroyer, Malumbi. As we saw in pre-season, he's good at that. That's his job. And then, he can let Jason Knight run forward with it. And then you got Sammy Smodic playing behind Evan Ferguson. Why is Smodic there? Because, well, that's where Smodic should play. And Smodic is one of those. He's very useful. He's very busy. And, he did it a few times against England. I mean, he's not an offensive player, but he can come back deep and he can break stuff up. He can also come back deep. He can get the ball and he can make a run forward to the big man up front. Or you've got Brady to the left and you'd have the two pacey lads on the right making runs. And yeah, you got the big man up front. And also with Smodic, and this is where John O'Shea, one of the reasons John O'Shea drives me mad, you've got a player like Smodic who has a great football brain. I think if he's a very old school centre forward, Martin. I don't know if you agree with that. Kind of around that more our time. He sort of reminds me of a bit of a John Aldridge. He's just always busy, like he's always doing stuff. You know what I mean? And he finds the space, doesn't he? Aldo was amazing at that. Just finding the space between the defenders. That was advice he gave one of his players at Tranmere. It's like, how do you score so many goals? I just run in between the defenders. Oh, Jesus, yeah. He just gets it. But I want him doing that trickery in the middle around the box the outside, inside edge of the box. I don't want him doing it on the wing. I want him doing it there because that's where he's an absolute nuisance. And I love that. And I just think as well, yeah, it's 4-4-2, but you know what? We're always trying to be Spain or other countries. Why don't we bit of Ireland, you know, a bit of guile and a bit of craft, to quote Eamon Duffy. Yeah, and I just think that's very useful.
I
I know, and I haven't forgotten that Ogbeni existed, Chio Ogbeni, Chidozie Ogbeni, or any other sticks you want to beat me with. I think Ogbeni's better because imagine, right? If it's not working with Casey McAteer, he's not having a great game, or he's having a great game and he's running out of legs. Bring on Chio. See, simple football.
I get it. I do get it.
Yep.
I just think he's player on your team. I would say on your thing. You know, this is a player I think who we have to. I like the fact you pulled it up there, Conor. Like how well Jason Knight I thought did do the other night.
He was excellent.
Like he is a player who they just mess around with him so much in this Ireland team. Now I know it's been a mess, but you know, and I kind of think he could probably maybe he is at his level with Bristol, but I think you always get 100% out of him. Great energy. I mean, he's played right wing back for us. He's played in midfield. He's played like in the kind of hole behind the centre forward as well. Like, and I'm sure he's been the man of the match for Ireland in about 3 games in different positions. So I think he's a very honest pro.
He's a fabulous player.
And we just seem to mess around with him. I'd love him to get a good run of games and really kind of not build it around him because I don't think he's got that. But I think you know, or perhaps that would let him grow into the role of trusting him to actually play and give you the 90 minutes. I think he's an incredible player at times for us. And yeah, it's just a shame that he just seems to be the one who always seems to miss out. So I thought he was very energetic the other night. I mean, this game, let's be realistic though. We're going to have a bit more of the ball than we did against England. And it might be a bit of a challenge for us to kind of break them down because they'll be very solid defensively. Hopefully it'll be quite an open game in a sense that then they will kind of come at us as well, because then I think that will play into our hands, having that pace of Ogbene and having Schmodix having a bit of space as well, and Casey McAteer is in my team. But you've got to get service to Ferguson there, and if they're dominating us, he can be very, very isolated. Whoever the centre forward, if it's Adam Eder or
4-4-2, lads. I'm telling you. Fucking make it rain in the box.
Look, a few people talk about Collins that he should be centre midfield.
I'm not
having that at all.
Also, I think we can't play 2 in midfield. I think we'll get absolutely destroyed, especially with Malumbi and Jason Knight. Before they are footballers, they are more of tenacity, getting around the pitch. I think you'd have to play Smodix in the front 2 I think you still have to play Malumbi, Smallbone and Knight. I think if you play Knight in the midfield too, Mumby, that just takes away from what Knight's good at, because if he plays there in the 2, he has to be a lot more disciplined, sitting back. And I think if you leave him as like a number 10, it's like the highest of the midfield 3, I think he'll be able to cover ground a lot more and get at the things. I think if you just play him in the midfield too with Malumbi, I think you're taking away from what he's actually good at. And it's like, who's going to sit out of them 2? And I don't think either of them are that sort of footballer to sit and use their football brain to dictate play enough. So I would wonder, I think we have to play midfield 3.
Okay. Very quickly, lads, and then we're going to move on to the comments. We're going a bit over. Martin, your prediction for tomorrow?
I think we will get a win. I just think it's been a lot of negativity about the whole kind of setup so far, and we've been bringing a bit of that. I think just honesty, to be honest, and a lot of disappointment. But I think we will maybe get a win there. I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1 for Martin, an historic first ever win for the Republic of Ireland over Greece. And yourself, Conor?
1-0 Ireland, 89-minute winner.
Who gets to go?
When half the crowd left.
Sinclair Armstrong, does he? He comes on.
Finn Azaz is playing over for the game tomorrow. Nathan Collins header.
Okay, fair shout. I'm going to go 1-1. I think it'd be 1-1. It'd be a lot more solid, bit of a backlash. I'm hoping we're going to see a little bit more of the Hamer effect. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for, but whether it happens or not, I don't know. Of course, we will be live from the ground tomorrow, 1 hour before kickoff, as always, when the team's announced. Conor and myself will be live in the stands. And then for the aftermath, about 10 minutes, just wait for the crowd to go, the music to go off, and then we will get your thoughts at the final whistle. It's only here on Lansdowne Roar. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't even need to go to the match, do you, Martin?
No.
No,
It's ringing alarm playing. Why would he
Uh,
go? He's going to Wembley.
just digging Martin out there.
I'm
Yeah.
going. I'm over. Don't worry about that. I'll be
Are you
there.
out tomorrow? Are you?
I am. Yeah, get a very
Okay.
late flight in now, but
Okay.
I will be arriving. So
And
yeah,
Martin,
Sweden, I'm doing my test. This is a good one. Very late flight, but you can do it, and I've done it before. You get over and and then straight away tunnel, please, quickest as you can, and drop you over that Rings End side, and away you go.
there you go. And Martin, I'm sure you'll have your little videos again that you had for the England game.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, if I can
Good
catch
stuff.
people outside, I will.
So Martin will be our Roman reporter outside. So you don't need to go anywhere. It's all here on Lansdowne Roar. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the page. Scan a QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. If you want opinion, head over to the fine people there at lansdowneroar.ie. James, Conor, myself, sometime. Martin, when he's bothered, we write articles over there. And we got you covered everywhere. Before we move on, actually, to the comments, lads, did you see good news a bit of happy news for Irish football? Mark Hannam, there he is. He's announced his new role within the FAI, and here he is on Twitter. Or no, I think that's LinkedIn, actually, is it?
Yeah,
Is that LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I don't use LinkedIn. I'm pleased to confirm a new role as Chief Football Officer of the Football Association of Ireland, continuing to lead the overall direction of football from grassroots through to our senior international teams across the men's and women's game, providing leadership of our Football Pathways plan that aims to maximise our potential and grow pathways for all at every level of the game. Let's have a look at his new role. Here it is there. Chief Football Officer, leadership and responsibility of all football development from grassroots through to our senior international teams across the men's and women's game, providing leadership of all football-related strategies to maximise our potential and grow pathways for all at every level of the game. What did he do before? Director of football, responsible for Irish football development, creating pathways for all grassroots through to international across men's and women's game. There you go.
Congratulations.
You're horrible,
Mark.
Dave. You're horrible, horrible man.
I'm not.
No. Congratulate the man. You know. he's
No,
done
no.
well,
Listen,
and
fair play
that's
to
a
him.
good promotion. It's
It is a promotion, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, no, for me, the jury's out on Mark Hannam. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I made my feelings very clear on previous podcasts. But
I think we need to hear more from him. If he's
Yeah.
going to be he's like the figurehead for the association, especially the football pathway, as he said, across all levels of the game. Is that what it was? But no, we need to hear more from him, especially of how these coaches and how people are what they're working towards and how to set up is, because there's a lot of faith in him. And if he walks away, it's like we've just invested a lot of time and effort. We've been here before. Paki Bonham wrote one of these many years ago. He's now a director. It's interesting. The AGM's coming up, isn't it? I think this Saturday, Dave.
Yes.
Of the FAI, and we're still without a full-time CEO. So there's a lot of organisations still to go on in the background there. Lots of problems, as we know, with staffing and disgruntled staff. But I'd actually want to hear more now. I want to hear the PR drive of. I want to hear Mark Hannam talking up what he does and going around shaking hands. Dave Carell, if he's going to be the CEO, doing the same. We need to get a bit of feel-good factor back in Irish football, without a doubt. But I want to hear from them when the criticism comes, because it's easy to hide behind John O'Shea and Heimer and say this is what it's about.
Well, Martin wants to hear from Mark, and we want to hear from you. And just before we do that, we get to the comments. Just remember, lads, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast, and wherever they go, we go to. David Dunn here from Lansdowne Road.
We just arrived here in Gibraltar.
On the road.
Yeah, I'm not in Gibraltar, guys. I'm not in Gibraltar. Sadly, I'm not in Lansdowne Road. I'm here in Amsterdam. Gibraltar. It's the rock over there. The rock.
Stadio Municipal Aveiro. Something along the lines, anyway. As you can see, it is pissing wet.
Trying to give us a good experience this evening. So
Get into your little seat, you.
yeah, I've been off the drugs 3 times.
Awesome to drive with you too.
I feel like you're one of the RTDs years ago.
Let me tell you something about you two, right? They have
on the flight.
so much for this
I
Here
did.
with a big car park beside the ground. Not too much to do.
Yes. This country, Portugal, every country, Europe.
Behind me here, you can see there is some snacks.
Show some respect. In my big
The rock over there.
No. We're not going to be playing Gibraltar in any of the countries.
Well, that's the way of the world these days.
And a quick reminder, we will be live from the ground.
Just jump in on Martin's point there. You said about we won't be playing Gibraltar in any other country but Gibraltar. Do we not play them in Portugal like a year and a half ago?
Jesus, Conor.
That's
That's the joke, Conor.
The joke, Conor.
Is it?
Fuck
Yeah.
sakes.
Oh.
I swear to God.
I
I'm
thought
not
that was an
a-
old clip. I thought that clip was from 5-6 years ago.
No,
Oh, I thought-
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I thought it was an old one. Oh, from like the
Conor.
time Jeff Hendricks scored against them.
You know, my granny used to say to me all the time, children should be seen, not heard.
Jesus.
Wow,
That's,
wow.
that's,
Fuck's
the joke. That's the way of the
sakes.
world.
That is the way of the world. For fuck's sake, it's part of the joke. Jesus Christ. You know what? You deserve
Because
that. Conor.
we got loads of grief, didn't we? That's
Yes.
the whole context of that little video clip.
Yes.
just to kind of clarify.
We-
We
move
were
on, move
getting a
on.
Ryanair flight and we
Memo.
went, we're off to Gibraltar. No, the game's there, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. It was
We
like,
got
there's the
loads of
rot.
shit that day.
We got on the wrong fly. Yeah, actually, serves you right, Conor, because you pointed out you took the piss out of me on Saturday when I didn't read Nurik's comment. Do you remember about let's have a mass debate
Oh yeah.
about it? Yeah.
Can I just come in actually because I
Jesus, lads, need to get to
no
the
no I know I want to get to comments, but the match program the other day was €10, right? But and it involves a lot of people we know now. You know, YouTube have got some really good articles in it, of course. But
Well,
yeah,
one of
I
us
thought it was
does.
very it was one of the best match programs. I know it was more expensive and people were criticizing that, but it was very good. I must say it was a very good
was.
program.
It was excellent.
I'm not just saying it because you two are in it. It was
I
good.
know you're not. It was excellent. Right. Yes. A quick reminder, Conor and I, although Conor probably won't sit next to me now in the stadium, have to sit to him. Conor and I will be live on the ground, I hope, tomorrow from 6:45, 1 hour before kickoff, when we go through the team. And then, of course, with about 10 minutes or so after kickoff, at final whistle, we will be live again to get your thoughts. And Conor's probably going to stab me in the head with a pound. Sorry, Conor. It's a bit of fun, Conor. It's it's what we do. We insult.
No, you broke him out. You've done worse than what Declan Rice did on Saturday. So
Good.
broke my heart.
Right. You've heard enough from us, so now we're gonna hear from you. Right, let's see what the Roar faithful is saying. Ryan Kelly over on our YouTube channel. Evening, gents. Big test tomorrow. I'm fairly optimistic that we'll get a win on this one. Shmonic much better when not on the wing. We need two up front. Our strikers don't perform when they're alone. 100%. 4-4-2, Ryan. 4-4-2. Bringing it back home, baby. That's what
No.
we're doing. 4-4-2. I mean, I cannot understand a performance on Saturday. Players not wanting the ball. If that's the case, they shouldn't be anywhere near the squad. This is by far the most depressing time as a fan. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's just more fear, lack of confidence that they have after the debacle of the last couple of years. I mean, mine continues. What does it take to understand that Collins must play in midfield? Why are they not seeing this? Why aren't they seeing this, Conor?
Because he's a centre half and he'll never be a midfielder ever.
It's good enough for Cyrus Christie. It's good enough for Nathan Collins. That's all I'll say. Tara Hartnett. Hi lads, how are you all? We're good. Well, I am. I'm fabulous, always. Would love to see Collins midfield, Scales left back, and Knight start against Greece. There you go, Conor. They're calling for the people. The people, Conor.
My
they
two
want
worst
Col-
nightmares: Collins, the centre mid, and Liam Scales left back. My worst.
What about you,
nightmare.
Marn? Would you like to see Collins have a go, have a spin?
No, I'm not having it at all. But
Lads aren't having it.
he needs to cement himself into to what he is good at and playing there and being one of the 2 or 3. Because it wasn't long ago that Stephen Kenny dropped him, and he's got to focus on getting to his club team as well a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like cementing, like week in week out playing there now.
Okay. JOC buzzing for this, lads. Good man, JOC.
Good man,
Over
Jack.
on Jack. Oh, he's one of your followers. Good man. Hello
Nice.
to everybody over Republic Ireland Player Tracker over there. Keane, do you think there was a bit of an overreaction to the loss? I feel people expected more and didn't take into consideration how bad we are or how good they are. I think, Keane, as we went through it big time earlier in the podcast, I think it was just the manner. It was just the manner of the defeat and, the words coming out at the end of it, like, oh, I need a couple more goes at the window and all this kind of stuff from the manager. I think people are just like, what, really? and they haven't really seen anything from the new manager. I think that was it. That's my opinion. Anyway, Jack over on Twitter. In training today, McAteer and Festi were both working together off the right. What's your thoughts on this? Well, I wasn't aware of it, lads. But
I think it could be just one of them training things, where you have the wing back / wingers whipping balls in.
I think Heimer is on the same wavelength as yours.
We all know it's going to be Doherty and Brady, the 2 wing backs again, isn't it?
I really hope
Festi won't play a minute.
Festi
they were working on crossing now, because they didn't do any of that the other day. Too slow.
Yeah, but you have to have the confidence to cross the ball in first before you do it.
I think for fullbacks, we need to move on. We need to give Festi a chance. I know he hasn't played a minute, but take a chance on the lad. What's the worst that can happen? You can't keep playing Doherty. Look, I don't mean to keep putting the boot into Doherty, but at the end of the day, and I said this earlier, lads, on the group chat, I said that how do you expect a player, if his poor performances are rewarded by starts every game? Where's the message?
He didn't start either of the games in March when O'Shea was managing, so I don't think he would be against dropping him. And he did take him off after 60 minutes. So, and I know Festi can make silly mistakes, and he's not as technically sound as Doherty would be, but at least he might get fans off the seat, and especially in international football, if someone gets a fan off their seat to do one action that gets the whole crowd going and everyone starts singing and cheering again, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. Darrell O'Connor, how you doing, Darrell? Hope you are well. I'd have played Scales, Collins and O'Brien as the 3 centre-backs. We had to play 5 back, Coleman on the right. Now Coleman out, play Festi tomorrow. Look decent in training. Another one watching the training. Dave McGuinness, how you doing, David? Crowd very flat for such a big fixture, not like the old days. Well, it only became flat after when the second goal went in. I mean, he stopped booing Declan Rice, but before that, I thought it was brilliant.
If you're in the ground, it was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think someone pointed that out, didn't they? It took an age, didn't it, for Michael D.
Bless him, yeah.
The line, and that really did.
Yeah.
Like everyone was thinking, what's going on? And
it did get going again when the national anthem came, but
kickoff got delayed, though, didn't it? It must have been. It was delayed for a couple of minutes.
Do you know it's also delayed? No one picked up on this. Well, if you're watching at home, Jordan Pickford kept doing his warm ups, and he wanted to keep doing it. Like, no, we've got to start again. So no, I need my warm ups. He just loves winding people up, doesn't he? Dave McGuinness, it's amazing how everyone's mind is made up after HH after one game. My mind's not made up about him.
This fella, top left.
Me?
I thought.
That fella, top left.
Don't listen to him, lads. Don't. He's just sore over the comment earlier on about children being seen and not heard.
You stick with your 4-4-2, you dinosaur.
I will stick with my 4-4-2. Don't listen. 4-4-2, right? Got us to World Cups, got us to fucking European Championships. So don't you fucking start before you were bleeding, before you're itching your daddy's pants.
Jeez, that's a bit too far. Too far.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, probably was. What was I saying? No. I haven't made my mind up about him, but I'm just saying I think a lot of people would agree, David and Conor, is that, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We know that the state of Irish football's in at the moment. You're being paid a handsome amount of money to fix it, and people want action. They do not want to hear that I need 2, maybe 3 1 or 2 windows. Windows, that's 4 games, 2 windows. To maybe then you're going to start seeing what I bring to it. I think that's the issue. So, but I hope everything works out and we see an improvement tomorrow, and then we and a further improvement from there. Listen, I think at the end of the day, lads, we're all behind the manager. We were very supportive of Stephen Kenny, as he knows. Dave McGuinness, until it just wasn't, until it was like, okay, look, this it's done, it's over, and we'll always support any manager. We do not want to see any manager fail at all. But yet again, and this is why Lansdowne Roar lads is so popular, we give honest opinions. We don't pay lip service. We give honest opinions. These are our opinions, and we also get your opinion too. There you go. David Walsh, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. Disappointed about Saturday, but feel there's such potential in the squad, and new manager is saying the right things to hopefully he becomes good or comes good.
That's more like it. Go on, David.
It's like two Davids there, isn't it? Brandon Walsh, I think with the formation and team selection, we would have struggled to beat Andorra, let alone England. Change it to a 4-2-3-1 and put our best attackers in their proper positions to give us some sort of chances of winning a game. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, lads? It's international football. Just put players where they should be playing. It's very simple. Don't be cute. Don't be too clever. Stephen O'Neill, Roy Keane was right with this statement about a lot of people working in the FEI are good people. It's a shame about the ones making the decisions. This is clear from how long it took down to appoint somebody. Yeah, Roy Keane, Martin, your thoughts on that? We didn't get your thoughts on that. Said that decision makers at the FEI couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. That's what he said word for word.
Yeah, I think with Roy Keane, you get the soundbite, of course, but also you do get a lot of honesty. And I think ultimately disappointed how he was probably treated in the recruitment process, because he was definitely a candidate, and he's just having a sly dig at that, isn't he? And that was
I thought you were gonna.
We're hearing that from a few people.
I thought you were gonna like he was disappointed away straight to Saipan, you know. And I'm sure that has a part to play in it. David Walsh, another one, clamouring for Collins in midfield. Collins could do well in midfield, but could be a big ask at international level. Collins often looks gas at 90 minutes as centre back. Can't imagine him having legs for midfield. Big Collins fan, by the way. That's a point, isn't it?
He's been absolutely brilliant for Brentford at the start of the season. I've managed to see in a couple of games he's played, and I think he's been Brentford's top 2-3 players. And as a centre back, but he looked a shadow of himself the other day, because it just looked like he didn't either trust the players around him or he was afraid to make mistakes. So I think playing him as a midfielder is just a waste of time. Sorry,
I wasn't laughing at your comment. I'm laughing at the next comment. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just.
Mine is like Crochet grows and grows. He drinks too much water in the press conference and picks his ear with his pinky, and his tactics shite. Oh, I love it.
Crochet's getting awful abuse. Abuse.
He is, isn't he? Jesus. Daryl O'Connor, I wonder will we change formation tomorrow? John O'Shea said in press today we may adapt to the team in front of us. Hopefully that means not playing 5 at the back tomorrow. Could do O'Brien and Scales centre back. If we play 5 at the back tomorrow, you'll know it, because you'll just hear me. I'll probably just combust. Jesus.
Depends. So if he plays players that you want to play in that system, you might prefer it. You might not prefer it. You might think, yeah, I can see what he's doing here. But if he comes back and he has Doherty and Brady as the 2 wing backs, and he plays Smodics on the wing again, then questions need to be answered.
Yep. Daryl Connor and Collins in the middle, as other comments are saying. I'm not a fan. They want Collins in the middle. Oh, here we go.
It's fucking brilliant.
Special guest. Dr. Hamer Halgrimson. Evening, folks. Great show. I will be interested in the opportunity to pick up tomorrow's team lineup. You can also do my first match. Let's go.
Oh my god!
Oh, I love it. I love the Raw faithful. We love you guys. Thank you. It has been a difficult few days, but you guys pick me up every time. Dave McGuinness, HH has the job and we need to get behind him. It's worth saying, if we didn't give Kenny the second contract and the role was available then in early 2022, Carsley may have been attainable. Maybe so, maybe not. Sure, he was even talking now and taking over the England job. He turned around and said that, well, no, it's a bit of a clickbait, wasn't it? The Mirror said, oh no, he doesn't want to be England manager. And then you read into it, he wants to be head coach. And it was a bit of a strange one there. I don't think we would have got Carsley in 2022. I don't think it would have happened. That's just my thoughts on it. David McGuinness, so is John O'Shea a crap coach forever because he worked with Kenny? Very unfair. Anyone who holds that view, the entire squad and backroom have a Kenny hangover to shake off, and that will take time.
He's been with clubs as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, I mean, I just think, as I said earlier, Martin, I know you love John O'Shea. Don't make me show the photograph again. But at the end of the day, like, he's been coaching like a few years, and you know, he's not a league coach. He's nowhere near it. No disrespect to him. I think he's a great guy. He wants what's best for Irish football, but you know,
yeah, but like I said earlier about my point about Mark Cannon being kind of a figurehead and stuff, I don't think we're going to ever get that from Heimer, being, you know, like the knowledge of Irish football. I think John O'Shea will have that. You know, I kind of refer to it because I'm in private chats with you. Just that, you know, before the game the other day, he works the kind of hotel, with the parents, players, players, parents, yeah, and different people around. Like he's a kind of busy kind of figurehead of it. I think that's why he's up front and stuff at the press conferences a little bit, working with Heimer, of course. But yeah, I think he's being unfairly tarred with some of the stuff with Kenny. Coaching wise, you've got some other experience there, and I think they will have other coaches coming in as well. So
Okay.
I've not.
We
got a
banned
problem
the
with it.
name Stephen Kenny being mentioned anymore because we can't blame everything on him.
Oh, we can. Provo Matty Pierce. How you doing, Provo? To be honest, the result was a good one. Goal scores aside, multiple missed chances to score. Lumby missed a couple. We only lost 2-0 to one of the best teams in the world, playing the best football I've probably ever seen them play, who are fresh off European Championship final. If we can improve tactically, put a third man in midfield and scrap the 5 at the back, we will see how much improved we are compared to 5 years ago.
Well said.
We had
Well
chances.
said.
We did have chances,
Yeah.
to be fair. Lumby, that header, and then he had one, didn't he, that when we were 2-0 down, and he was indecisive. We had chances to get back in the game, but I think it was more down to
they
took
take
their-
their foot off, didn't they? Jesus.
Fair. Dave McGuinness, the manner was appalling, but we need to see if the reaction comes in the next several fixtures. The instant gratification thing today fans want isn't coming. It will take a few winners to change things. I agree there, David, but it
Just needs
doesn't
a improvement on every coming window, not stalling like we are at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. I want to see the manager get hands on, get in there. Let's see what you're about. Brandon Walsh, why are we hiring a manager that hasn't a clue about the players? Seriously, what's going on? We haven't got the time anymore for another manager to be learning on the job. Yeah, I mean, they have these things called DVD. Well, not DVDs.
But surely he
streams.
has. Surely he knows a vast majority of players. Like anyone involved in football, who doesn't know Seamus Coleman, Matt Doherty, Robbie Brady, Sammy Smodix at this stage, Nathan Collins, Queven Keller. He probably knows a vast majority. He just probably doesn't know what way to utilize them. But yeah, he has plenty of time.
He
to
must
do
have
his
watched
work on.
us play. He must have watched back the last
Yeah,
videos.
he will have.
He's
He will
got to
have.
have looked at last games against Greece.
How many games has he
Got to
gone
look
to?
at
Has he gone to, Martin? I asked you, Martin. You said you weren't sure. And a
I
couple of
Has
seen.
he been over
I
in,
s-
in England?
He
I
has
think,
been
yeah.
over. He has been over.
he has been over.
I think it might have been Virgin Media on the day of the because he was asked on the Viva pitch. I think it was the day the squad was released, and he says something along the lines as I haven't seen enough, but I've been over to watch, and it's been games where say multiple Irish lads have been involved. So it would have been a championship game where there's I don't know, maybe just for example Bristol City against Derby when you've all the Bristol City lads and then a few Irish play for Derby, but something like that.
Okay.
But
not enough. No, not enough. Provo again and play Smolix through the middle. My God, he makes things happen when he's able to get on the ball and have attackers around him on either side. That's exactly what I've said. And just to show you here, this is the dream team. Down the centre, behind Evan Ferguson, you got the winger on the right. You've got you got the lovely crosses on the left. Lads, Jesus, like come on, put me in charge.
20% possession.
More than what we had on Saturday. Did we have?
Actually, did you? Finland dominated the possession against Greece, which was an interesting one. Away in Greece.
Did they? Yeah, but that's very Poyet, wasn't it? Like it was just hit you on the counter. That's what Poyet's team did. Okay, so he's playing the same style. Ed M, how you doing, Ed? I don't understand why we go 3-4-3 midfield is our weakest area, and we play only 2 in there. We're always going to get the run around. I'd like to go 4-1-4-1. Or Ed, we could go 4-4-2.
No, but he said you're only playing 2 in midfield. In your team. Ed is saying we need 3 in midfield, but you're saying we need 2 in midfield. Again.
I'm not saying...
I saw 2.
I'm not playing 2 midfield. I'm playing 4.
He means it in the centre of the park.
4-4-2, lads. It's all right. It's grand. 4-4-2.
Roy King won't be there to be able to manage that. Roy King could do that.
He could, yeah, couldn't he? Malumbi, he can do it. I'm telling you, he's fucking swinging digs and everything. Brilliant. John O'Sullivan, do you support League of Ireland team, David and Martin? And yeah, don't we? Well, actually,
Well, Kilkenny City don't exist anymore. When I go to Ireland, I've gone and watched Waterford. And Shamrock Rovers, I kind of keep an eye on their results, to be honest.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, you sound like a yank.
But that's just from an experience watching them when I was a
You
young
sound
lad.
like a fucking, an
Uni trip
American.
in
Do
Dublin.
you remember the WWF when Shawn Michaels back in 90?
So we move on. No WWF talk. No WWF
And he was
talk.
talking about Blackburn Rovers. He loves Blackburn Rovers. That's you when you're talking about fucking League of Ireland.
When Sylvester Stallone came to Eben.
Yeah, and he left. My team would be Pats, to be fair, because I'm from Clondalkin, and Shamrock Rovers weren't there. Actually, they weren't in the ground, which probably would be the closest team. I would be Pats, Inchicore, kind of in the middle of it there. Yeah, Super Saints.
Stephen Kenny fanboy, that's why.
Yeah, Super Saints, the pride of Richmond Park. David Walsh, back four for me. I'd go with O'Shea, Collins, O'Brien, and Scales. O'Shea and Scales have played fullback at club in past. I know it's not ideal, but not real fullback options. Imagine the corners, 4 centre backs. I like this guy. Yeah, right. John O'Sullivan, off topic and no opinions on Galway United. Conor, the best team.
They're actually having a very good season. I think everyone had predicted them to be in a relegation battle, and they're now in a European battle, and they're looking like they have a good chance to get in Europe. So they've surprised a lot.
Fair enough. David, Jen on YouTube is not me, I swear. Jenny would have rathered a full new background staff and lose 6-0 to England than get stuck with this jagged management. Oh. Michael Hennessy, hello lads. John O'Shea press conference, HH nowhere to be seen. He was actually managing. Saturday we had no fight, no passion. Make us hard to beat. No, make us hard to beat. I understand England are elite, but come on, too easy. 100% agree there, Michael. Dave McGuinness again. He hasn't come in and asserted himself. That's clearly an issue, but we need more games to properly assess. Still find the corner of Heimer. John Muckin, lads, was a season ticket holder in 23 and went to my first game of 24 Saturday. Felt that was the worst Ireland performance I have gone to. I was a bit embarrassed how poor we were. The management. ... Darrell O'Connor, I suppose Heimer is used to joint managing, isn't he?
Good point.
Yeah, that all joking aside,
We
is.
We didn't think that was happening now with us, did we? So that's why we're all
Wait, he did get them to a World Cup by himself as manager.
Yeah, he likes to delegate, doesn't he? He likes that. It was Lars Lagerback, wasn't he? He was assistant, then co-management, and then he was
Actual manager.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's an Icelandic thing. I'm not saying that to take the piss. Like, obviously, they do things. We all do things differently. Declan Finnegan, how you deck? There is. Oh, he's on the Twitter now, not the Facebook. There's a reason why we are ranked where we are in the FIFA rankings, 59th, I believe. We haven't got enough players who are good enough to compete at this level. Pep Guardiola would struggle to get any improvement out of the current crop. I think it's a bit harsh. Obviously, we're not elite players. I think so.
There's a lot of improvement in this team.
Andrew O'Leary, bring back Stan Staunton. Dave McGuinness, did you see Simon Jordan's comments on TalkSport today? I did, David. He said Ireland were useless. The Republic of Ireland. Republic our Ireland. What was it? He said Republic our Ireland. No, Republic our Ireland are useless. Yes. I mean, they were terrible. And yeah, I mean, it was quite harsh. I don't mind Simon Jordan a bit. But yeah, he was quite blunt, scathing, actually. Katie McAvoy, good man, Conor. Is that your sister or your mum or?
No, it's not. It's just someone the same second name as me.
That's a lie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Sister.
Hello, Kate. How are you doing?
Okay.
Sorry for the comment to your brother earlier. We love him dearly. Dave McGuinness, I'm honest to anyone who says we don't have the players. We do. We need a proper coach. Time will tell.
Come on, David. Well said.
Oh, wow. He's pulled the nose up for you, Conor, hasn't he? David, we have a way better squad than we've had for the last few years. All I want is a Mick McCarthy figure that gets results and is a strong side to beat. Don't care about playing good football anymore.
Oh, he's actually right there. Go on ahead.
Yeah, no, I think Mick had the right blend, didn't he? Although we had some cracking players where we were tough to beat, but we actually played some nice stuff sometimes. We mixed it up a little bit. Can be done.
And the thing of saying we've such a bad squad, it's the worst squad we've ever seen, is clearly not. If people remember what would have been the start of Stephen Kearney era, we had players like Ronan Curtis making the squad. We had
Yeah.
Scott Hogan making the squad. We had more League One players making the squad. So it's a lot better now.
No, 100%. Stephen Walsh, Ferguson hasn't scored a goal in about 10 months for club or country. He hasn't fucking played about 10 months. No, look at me. He was injured. Give him a chance. He's been injured for a very long time. It's a bad one too. It's going to fly through these comments, lads. John Muckian. If we lose Tuesday playing the same way again with the same formation, I won't be going to another game this year. O'Shea hates Festy and will never pick him. HH might force him into start. What? What's wrong, Martin?
What? How can you think that John O'Shea hates Festy? I don't know. That just is mad.
David on YouTube needed a prime Dave McGoldrick figure in that English match up front.
Well said.
No.
The only Irishman to
no.
score on Saturday, wasn't he? Did you see his goal?
Wow.
World class. World class.
Oh, it did actually. You showed it to me, and James McLean got an assist as well, didn't he? For
He actually would have done a job. He would have done better than any of them players at left wing back at the weekend.
He would have, yeah. And his prolific record of Ireland of goal scoring would have.
We're on about McLean, by the way.
Well,
Not public.
About McGoldrick.
Not public. Does Greenwood have any Irish connection? If so, we should get it in there before Jamaica. Oh, God. Councillor Sam McCarthy, Simon Jordan et al. Are total bores. It's funny that all they're worried about is who and isn't singing about the monarch. I thought I like Simon Jordan, but holy Jesus, I thought it was ridiculous what he was coming out with about the manager, not about Lee Carsley not playing or singing the anthem. And I thought he was very disrespectful towards Lee Carsley's Irish roots. This is a job for Lee Carsley. You know, he's a coach and he's at the pinnacle of his profession. The England job is probably one of the top 3 jobs in the world of international management, top 5, let's say, for argument's sake. And he said something, because he represented Ireland, because, you know, his granny or send him a postcard from Ireland. So that's not fair, and I didn't like that. And he was on about, he was just saying he should sing the anthem. And Martin Keown, of course, who is probably more, he's admitted he's more Irish than English. He actually said today, he said no, like he can do what he wants, you know. But anyway, it's fucking ridiculous. Who gives a shit about singing national? I'm sorry, Conor, but I don't care who sings the anthem or not.
It's more important the players sing it than the manager. That's what I have to say.
I whatever works for you. Darrell O'Connor, Dark Hughes were mental, so walked towards town for Pearse Street Dara Station and got caught in the middle of the Brits. Their supporters are annoying as they are made out to be. And they're all Man United fans. Darrell O'Connor as well sang a few wolf tones at them. It was like a vampire looking at a cross. Did he all start melting as well? Did he? Yeah, like throwing holy water at them. Mark O'Reilly, we need to play 4-4-2. Oh, Mark, my boy. We haven't got the wing backs. We haven't got players at wing backs. At least we won't get overrun like Saturday. See, Mark, 4-4-2, lads. Ed M. Gallagher could start for half the Premier League teams. Waste sitting on the bench at Pool. Agree. Top half as well. John Muckey in Liverpool have treated him shockingly. People do notice a very bad look for Liverpool on Creeping Gallagher.
Sure.
And do you want me to give you a rundown of how Irish players have been treated by Alex Ferguson in the past?
Oh.
He's gone. Stop living in the past, will you? We're living in the present.
United fans, are you sure? David McGinn, battling Finland. Jesus, that was my comment saying we're battling them for relegation.
Yeah.
Conor Ladd says Ali. Who's Ali?
Top guy.
Fair enough. Darrell O'Connor, if we finish third, that doesn't guarantee us League B. Third puts us to a relegation playoff. Second for a promotion playoff. Great point again, Darrell, coming out with the points. Yeah, that's true. We go into a relegation playoff. Maybe going into Pot C wouldn't be too bad, actually. Genuinely gives a kick up the hole. And we'd have a better chance of getting a playoff for the Euros. Stephen O'Rourke, hey guys, I'm thinking 2-1 tomorrow for Ireland. Good man, Stephen. Pro again. As long as there's 3 midfield, I'm happy. Good on you, Conor.
See.
A lot of love here for Conor. I'm not liking it.
See.
John Muckey and switch Festy and Chio. Take night out and put in Azaz, Moran and McAteer. Yep, that's on your one. Darrell O'Connor
is in the squad.
Darrell O'Connor is on a roll here, Martin, isn't he? Absolute roll. Martin, do you not remember Dowda left back in Athens?
Yeah, I do. I said it when I made the point about him coming on my team, but he struggled that night. I'm not denying that, but he's more consistent now playing for Cardiff in that role than he was then.
And yeah,
So-
you pick him.
Martin believes in a redemption story.
I've no problem with him playing.
And Cardiff. And how well are Cardiff doing? How many games have Cardiff won this
Yeah,
season
but
with
you
him?
can say that about any of our players in our squad.
No. But I'm not. I'm
some of
asking
them.
you about Calmadauda.
Yeah, but you can just say that about any of our players. As I'm saying, a lot of them are in struggling teams, which again is another point I said about our players. You have to listen when I make these valuable points, Dave.
Well, there's so few and far between, man. You know, they just kind of slip through the cracks. David again, Martin, you can't be defending a Dowd in 2024. I would rather League of Ireland player at this point. I swear that's not me.
Yeah, Jesus,
I
Dave.
swear it's not me. That's why I'm always busy off camera. Darrell O'Connor. I just can I just say how much I love Darrell O'Connor, Martin, and Conor as well. Out of the three, I go with David's squad. Good man.
Another dinosaur.
He just
No,
hates
no, no.
Bene as well.
No. Just resolute. Kieran. Brady was absolutely shite on Saturday.
So another
Fair enough.
response to you.
Yeah, fair enough. Brady out.
So this is when I saw your
but-
team.
But
I tell you what,
We dropped Brady, didn't we?
Yeah, but I tell you what, though. That's because he was playing as a left wing back. I'd have him as a left winger, bringing it back to where he belongs.
This is Brady, who you said on this very podcast that would never play for Ireland again about 2 years ago.
Yeah, but playing in my 4-4-2 system, he would technically be playing again. He hasn't been playing, Martin. He hasn't been playing to his full potential. I would unlock that potential. That's my point. Sorry, Darren again. A game like Greece would suit Brady better than England.
It would.
Exactly.
It would, and that's my point again of how they're going to have the.
What's your point?
No. My point was that we will have more of the ball, and that's where you need creative players, and that's where I think Schmolix will shine.
You could say that for any player, though.
No, I know that.
You have to say Brady.
Brady is a very clever player, like a very creative player for us. Well, it still saddens me how it evolved for him as his career.
Right. Got to fly through the comments, lads. We're flying over. Conor Doherty, Scales can't play fullback, lads. He's technically not good enough. That's another fucking pop at me, isn't it? He's not good enough to do it, in my opinion. Haven't watched him for Celtic. As sad as it sounds, probably best going with Brady or Dead, as much as it pains me to say. 4-4-2. I mean, mine. It was a man of our defeat. Martin, you had said it. It could have been 6 if England needed it. We didn't play better in the second half. England decided to kill the game, which was not a problem. Shane Martin, Amabamidele had a nightmare at the end of last season when Forrest got dropped and hasn't played since. Festi hasn't been playing for Udinese like a rabbit in headlights when he's come on. Nobody's at Watford now.
That's not true. That's not true. Amabamidele, it was just the thing, he was coming in and out of the team. Nuno wouldn't play. From somebody who speaks to Forest fans, him and Murillo, they're both the same age and he wasn't going to play the two together. So it was kind of thing of coming in and out. And Festi, I think he's referring to, remember when Festi came on, who did he come on against? Was it Belgium or Switzerland? And he didn't do well, but it's hard to put pressure on a young lad that was coming on for 20 minutes and his first meaningful time of actually playing. So I think it was a bit harsh to say that on him.
Fair enough. John Knowlton, Dublin manager. We do not have the players. John Nolan, sorry. David Walsh, Kelleher, O'Shea, Collins, Brian, Scales, Benny, Knight, Malumbi, McIntyre, Smollich, Ferguson, 4-4-2. Whip that ball in at every opportunity. Good man. Bring it back, lads. 4-4-2. Mark says our midfield is awful. It's where Greece will win the game. I think everyone bloody wins the game. I only picked 5 for the squad midfielders. You can't play these guys if it's just because they're young players. They have to have something about them. Playing at their clubs, management shit show has Cannon's fingerprints all over. Pure chancer, says Shane Martin. Good. Edem, 4-1-4-1. Keller, Ebiselli, Amabamidele, Collins, Scales, O'Shea, Benny, Paris, Smollich, Brady, Ferguson. Pablo Bosk, how you doing, Pablo? I don't know how anyone can justify Brady starting after his performance against England. 4-4-2, Pablo. That's what justifies it. For fuck's sake. Conor Doherty, lads, we got absolutely destroyed home and away last time we played them. I don't think it will change that much in that space of time. Draw at best. Yeah. 1-1 for me. Martin Fitzpatrick, 2-0 Ireland. Bit of positivity there. Paul Carney, hi guys, hope your optimism isn't misplaced given recent results against Greece. Do you think the press will be patient with HH if results are poor?
No.
They've got to be lucky to get him up in front of them first. I was going to ask a question. I'm going to come in because I know we're rushing through because we've got to finish the show, obviously. Many of you are travelling tomorrow, etc. But I didn't see who did John O'Shea pick as his. I mean, Heimer. Who's he going to pick as his captain? Not John O'Shea picking him.
Collins, I'd say.
Collins, yeah,
Yep.
he was
Reckon.
captain. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Collins was captain, wasn't he, when Coleman went off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Goes,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Mark Lynch tomorrow feels must win already.
Does.
Shane Martin, Canham, should be held accountable, hired by Hill and non-football people. But I'd say James E.T., would Jim Crawford ever be a shout for promotion to the men's team or anyone on his backroom team, whoever they may be? Connor, quick one for you there.
I think we'd have to wait and see if he qualifies for next summer and does well in the tournament. That probably puts him, but I think it's probably a bit early yet to say that.
Fair enough.
And Stephen Rice stepped down, didn't he?
He did.
From the seniors to the 21s.
Shanko Brady Lug, we should have kept Kenny. We've now got a teeth butcher. Is that you? The Eagle, we won't beat Greece. Not a chance after what I saw the other day. Shunnock Roy, Doherty Brady should be nowhere near the ball. It's better to give other players a chance and see how they perform. Oh, sorry. Loads of comments coming in here. The Eagle, if he plays Doherty, then he don't have a clue as a manager. Dave McGuinness, after Kenny's first Nations League, we knew what lay ahead. Fuck all, but he got time. So HH needs time, not 3 years of failure. Though let's not go there again. Give HH his chance. I don't think anyone's denying him his chance. Just needs to take it. Brady Lug again. Our youths are ranked in the top 10 under 21s. Fast track, take some off them. After they qualify. Kenny Delahunt, well, lads, I'm for a 4-0 win. Good man, Kenny. Risk London. Hopefully we beat Greece and play him a unbeat night and Casey McAteer because he played decently against England. Is that that's not you, Martin, is it?
It's not me, but it's someone in my house.
Oh, someone's getting grounded.
Yeah.
Someone's getting grounded. Kelly Delahunt going. I believe you're going to the match. I think. The Eagle, Malumbi is not a good player. He had to finish that chance and he funked it. Get rid. Risk London again. Malumbi was my man of the match against England.
Was he
I know
Keane?
this.
Okay. Keane,
Oh,
my
that is
son Keane.
Keane.
Chatting away here. Yeah.
Is he going with you in the morning?
No,
He's fucking not now.
I'm not going in the morning. Jesus, he's going to school.
That's what we have to tell the people watching. How the hell are Israel in Group A seeded pot? Who cares how this staff competition goes? Are they in?
Yeah,
Pot
they played
A?
it late tonight.
Shit. Wow. Okay. Didn't know. Dr. Heimer Hangerson again. I pushed for a League of Ireland international squad. I want a Bassett in midfield. What more do you lot want?
Oh dear, that's brilliant.
Send your hate tweets to Heimer. The Eagle, if we don't keep the ball better and actually keep it until we try something and not just kick it back to them, then what's the point? And Keane's gone mad for Kelleher there. Martin, I'm sure, have a word there, will you? Michael Hennessy loved Chelsea Benny, but I feel he takes too many touches past the ball. Yeah, but 3 or 4, doesn't he? Then he
Yeah,
Or the
he
English
got
lads
caught
are
the other
one.
day. He could have put crosses in the other day, and he was too long on it.
Yeah. Heimer again. How can you expect me to watch that much Premier League and Championship football? I've better things to be at. Yeah, fixing teeth. Brandon Walsh, HH has only travelled to one game, Burnley versus Luton. Not good enough. Is that true, Connor?
That could be it. He said multiple Irish players involved, so that could be it.
Okay, yeah. Well, but if that is the case, Brandon, and I will bow to your knowledge, Brandon, that's not good enough. That's not good enough at all. Ryan Kelly, I thought we created problems for England when Benny was put to right wing back. I was saying all week I would have had him there over Doherty. Would love to see Ebicelli have a goal. The same way we need the energy. Knight came on as well. I thought we looked better, but then again, England's game's over. You got to remember, players didn't want to get injured. They were just strolling through it. Would you put any under 21s player in the Ireland squad? No,
Who would come up into it?
Right now, it's be Sinclair, Andy Moore, and Boston Lowell. Well, there's like Joe Hodge as well, Rocco Vata, and Selmo McNulty. There's loads, but I think right now who you could say come in the next couple of would be Moore and Lowell and Sinclair. I think Boston might never play for the 21s again if he starts well at Stoke over the next month or so.
Ronan Tilley, do you agree with Craig Burley? Ireland were garbage, or is that harsh coming from a Scotsman? Well, Scotland are in Group Pot A, although not for long. No, we were absolutely rubbish. Ryan Kelly, has Boston Lowell played a run of games for Stoke yet? Really excited to see him push for a place in future. He's just signed, hasn't he?
Yeah, they flagged an issue in his medical, so I think he had to get something done or some procedure, and he has to recover from that. But I think it was like a short term. I think he could be back playing this weekend. Like,
cool. Sorry, I've lost. Holy Jesus! Sorry, I've lost my place. There we go. The Eagle, Burley was right. And so Simon Jordan. Dave McGuinness, the fella who was embarrassed, clearly wasn't in the stadium when Armenia put their second goal in. And Kenny, I started singing. Kenny is putting on a show. That's embarrassing. You're embarrassing, Conor. That's what David says.
I never sang
Eagle,
that.
What a stupid statement. Don't play football. John Buckley, who did Simon Jordan play for? Well, he owned Crystal Palace, I suppose. Ferguson is no...
Go on.
Lost his bollocks, didn't he? Really? Ferguson is no striker at all. Yes, says the Eagle. Lads, is Risk London organising anything for England away? Asked Darrell O'Connor. Very quickly, Martin.
Yeah, Friday the 15th, there'll be an event at the Irish Centre in Camden. On the Saturday night, the night before the game, Clattering and Hendon. Going to have some live music on, hopefully some special guests in there. And on the Sunday, pre-match, because it's a 5 o'clock kickoff, we will also have live music at the Clattering and Hendon. Food available as well. And post-match, bit of a party afterwards. Win or lose, back at the
We'll be on the booze.
Live bands, win or lose on the booze. Live music. Got to look at doing some travel kind of stuff up to Wembley as well. Not too far from Wembley, the Clattering in Hendon. There you go.
Nice one. Dave McGuinness, a lot better. We don't have the players' excuse anymore. It holds no water. Might as well bring Shane Long back if you bring back Robbie Brady, says Ronald Dilly. Gotta get in stick for that. The Eagle, pick a young team and develop them for 4 years. I thought we did that, didn't we? This is the 4 years. Darrell Connor also looking forward to Helsinki next month. Be mad going to a game at 9:45 kickoff. Jesus.
Oh,
nice. And ending around half. You're all right there.
I just see a comment going ahead. We'll get to it eventually.
Oh, God. God, 3-5-2 is the only way. Needs 3 in the middle of the park, like the second half. Benny did well as a flying right wing back in the second half, but he did okay in the second half. Small Bumbalombi and Collins. Festi came on in France too, deserves more minutes. Great work as always, says Paul Butler Lennox. Good man, Paul Butler Lennox. And he continues, are we booking the Greek national anthem because of yogurt? I bland, lads. What? Oh, the yogurt is bland. Fair enough. Martin, will we stop slandering and doubt it if you admit that Dave McGoldrick played wonders for Ireland in 2019?
Yeah,
he did play wonders in 2019 for Ireland, but his goal scoring.
Oh, there's no button. Oh, you didn't have to bring in the button. No need for the button.
Can't be getting carried away with that.
No.
He was better than Daryl Murphy.
You had a chance, Martin.
The Daryl Murphy ever been
chance.
Callum Folan, Connor Salmon, McGoldrick was the best out of all of them.
By a long shot.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move it on.
Took a long time to get to it.
Austin Watt Clancy, Evan Ferguson will not be starting, so no point in people naming him. Obviously, in agreement beforehand with Brighton. Otherwise, he'd have started both games. Do you think the managers will test out any of these formations? All sound exciting and would be brilliant to see. Would be gutting if they start the same lineup again. I think they're going to go the same again, Kieran, if I'm being honest with you. The Eagle, better to stop any team in the field than near of goals. Common sense, which Ireland don't have. Would Ireland get 10 tickets for the Wembley game, Martin? Your tickets, man.
Hopefully, because it's a more attractive game for Ireland fans than England fans on a Sunday in London, where England fans are kind of in uproar how they're going to get back up north, especially the Geordies who do travel. And it'd be awful, infrastructure travel later that time of night on a Sunday getting back. So hopefully the FAI will be putting it to Wembley to say, please, can you give us a load of tickets? Because I think they will sell them. Maybe not 10,000. I think that's quite optimistic. But you've got to remember as well, it's no interest financially for the FAI to sell 10,000 or 5,000 tickets. It will just be more administrative hassle to do so.
Fair enough. Darrell, whoever says who cares how this competition goes, we do care because it affects seedings, pots, and potential playoffs. gives you a chance to play teams at their own level. I know England isn't. I mean, England should be Pod A. Thomas, I've never seen a more disinterested player than Doherty for Ireland my entire life. Darrell O'Connor, but in qualifiers, you get teams out of other pots in the Nations League. We most of the time get teams in our pots. So interesting to see where we are versus the likes of Greece and Finland. Mr. Ipswich Town, how you doing? Ferguson needs to start. Have Smodics right behind him. Perfect front lineup. Yeah. Barry Doyle, can we please try something a little left field against Greece? Malumbi, Smallbone, Cons at 6. This is Greece. Nice cover centre back with Scales and John. Jacob Bryant, if this worked, it changes everything. Provo, what I've seen from him, Boston Lowell looks like the central midfielder we've been crying out for since he who shall not be named. Heimer is at it again. Thanks for the support, Dave McGuinness. I'll book you in for free tooth whitening and checkup. Good man. Conor, Cormac Murray, lads, what did you make of how Ireland set up Saturday? We were shockingly naive. I mean, we've covered that, lads.
The worst I've ever seen.
Wrong formation, wrong players, square pegs and round holes. Paul Butler Lennox, are we booing the Greek national anthem because the yogurt is bland? Sorry, predictive text. Jesus, there we go. I love Greek yogurt, actually. I had some today.
Oh Jesus! Look at
tastes
that.
Tastes very different
There are
to
other products, other manufacturers of. It's not a product placement, was it? You're not sponsored by that, yeah?
No, it's just Tesco. I went to the Tesco's down. It used to be Quinsworth, next to the old church in Clonloughlin, where my mum and dad got married back in 1980.
Oh, right. No.
There you go. Marriage didn't last long. Cormac Murray, where are Cormac Murray, where are Cullen, Obafemi and Manning currently? Could we have set up more compact on Saturday from the start and stay in the game longer? Cullen's injured. Obafemi is just being Obafemi and he's not getting a game really at Plymouth. He's on loan there.
No, he is playing there. You can't say that. It's just he just joined.
Yeah,
it's harsh to say he's not playing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's coming into it. What's the other? Oh yeah, Manning's nowhere to be found. Last played as a central midfielder against Oxford, where he lost 2-0. And he has.
Do you think we missed Cullen the other night, Dave?
I don't think he would have made a difference.
Okay.
At all. I'm not having a go with Cullen. It wouldn't. The team was wrong. The setup was wrong. And Ronan Cleary, the last comment, opinions on Kelleher's comments earlier. Well, we've already given him, but yeah, he's dead right. I just hope he doesn't get into hot water over it. And yeah, he's too good to be sitting on a bench. Lads, there you go. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining. Lads, thank you very much for coming on. We are live tomorrow from the ground, 6:45, 1 hour before kickoff. And of course, we will be live, Conor and myself, right after the game, about 10 minutes or so after the final whistle, to have the aftermath where we get your opinions. Will we have a first ever win for the Republic of Ireland over Greece, or will it be business as usual? And will the pressure be on if we lose? But will it be on John O'Shea or Heimer Hugumson? We'll find out tomorrow. We're going to leave it there. Lads, thank you as always. I'm David Dunn. He's Mark Prendergast. The little lippy bollocks down the bottom there is Conor McAvoy, our Republic of Ireland player tracker. And if you want more of this, head over to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube and head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter, and also over to lansdownemore.ie. And please do, sorry, I meant to mention earlier on, Conor is over at Republic of Ireland player tracker on Twitter. And if you want to find out what's going on with the players, a lot of these questions, he's the man. He's got his finger on the pulse. And he knows exactly what's going on. So follow that page over on Twitter. He's doing God's work. Right, we're out of here. Lads,
thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully, come on, you boys, agree.